This is a video for the Goodwin Syndicate. This weekend we took Bruno down to the Carolina International Horse Trials. It was down in North Carolina near Southern Pines, and we competed in the advanced division of the event. We got down there Thursday. I arrived and gave him a bit of work on the flat. Practiced a few moves in the dressage on Thursday evening. Woke up really early on Friday morning and worked him again just to get him nice and relaxed. And then our test, I think, was about 9 o'clock. So it was first thing Friday morning, and he put in a lovely test. To be honest, it wasn't quite as awesome as our test at Bruce's Field. I feel like the test we had at the Bruce's Field Grand Prix eventing was flawless, and we had a couple tiny little mistakes in this test, but all in all it was pretty good. He's definitely smart in the flat, smart in the dressage, and there's still improvement there. I think we finished in second place after the dressage on a score of 30, which is pretty good, but I need to get him just a little bit rounder and a little bit softer in his frame. As you can see there in the shoulder and lefty, it's pretty nice, but he just comes up against my hand and a little bit stiff and locked, and I think to get the really, really good marks, I've got to show a little bit more suppleness. And the flying changes were okay. I think the second one was great. You'll see in a minute. The first one was a bit dodgy. I think we got a 5 for our first flying change, but all in all, I was very, very happy with him. He stays settled. He's very, very rideable. He's still green in there. I still feel like he's getting comfortable with the higher level movements. And I think the improvement in the dressage over the next 6 months is actually going to just be more roundness and suppleness, and that will sort of allow him to let go and be ultra extravagant, which the judges love him anyway. But I think there's a couple of more points in there. Obviously, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had a blinder of a run at the Bruce's Field Grand Prix eventing, and we went flat out to win the contest. I decided that it would be smarter to actually ease up on him a little bit for this event in the cross country. I'm very, very confident in his speed, but I think it's important not to get greedy and go really, really fast at every competition just because we want to win a prize. In the cross country, I sort of coasted around at about 80% effort, so I never really pushed him or sprinted him between the jumps, but I really worked on jumping the jumps out of stride. That being said, he won the competition, which is pretty impressive. It's 2 wins on the trot for Bruno, which is a fantastic result for him. And I feel like after, I must be with him now 6 months, and that was a good change there. Six months now, we're starting to really bond and get a partnership together. And I feel like that's the name of the game. He's a very, very careful jumper. Like, he's almost too good of a jumper. And when you've got careful, scopy jumpers like this, I think it's important that they're very, very confident, especially in the cross country. So part of it is the training, and then the other part is in the competitions of just giving him a little bit of time and making sure that every cross-country jump is a good experience. So I think we scored a 30, which left us narrowly in second place after the dressage. Again, there's a couple movements in there that we need to clean up, along with just trying to get him a little bit rounder in his head and his neck. So the next day, which was Saturday, we went cross-country just after lunch. We were lucky they had a live feed, which we videoed here, so we see most of Bruno's course. And funny enough, last year we were, we sort of didn't know each other that well for the cross-country, and it was we weren't quite in sync with each other. It was a little bit herky and jerky, and I don't know, something in the last 6 weeks really clicked with Bruno and I. And I feel like he's bursting with confidence, and I also sort of understand the correct ride to give him, and I don't know, he's just giving me that championship feel over the fences, like he's looking for his next jumps, he's focused, he's he's not a thoroughbred, but he's got speed and he's got a really big stride, and I feel like if I obviously keep working away at his fitness, that he'll be able to do the appropriate time. I said earlier that it's important not to try and win every start, but saying that, you don't want to go around like an old grandma. So I was basically just trying to let him roll on at the speed that he was comfortable with, and then the big thing is trying to pick up these bigger tables and wider fences without adjusting him. So not spurting him at the jump or slowing him down too much. And I feel like I did it pretty good. There was one jump I made a mess of late in the course. We'll see it in a moment. It's the only one that I got wrong. But all these bigger, wider tables, I felt like we picked them up out of step. So Bruno and I, we come back to Pennsylvania and keep working away with my jumping coach Peter. Silver's helping me in the dressage, and Eric's helping me in cross country, and sort of an all-round coach as well. And our next event's going to be in 3 weeks or 4 weeks' time. I think it's at Fair Hill. It'll be the 4-star short, which will be it'll be a big track. It will be a big, bold, brave track. Derek DeGrazio, the designer of Burley and Kentucky, will be designing it, and he always builds a pretty beefy track. But I feel like the time's perfect to take on a bigger course now. The last 2 or 3 events, I felt like Bruno's done very well, done it easy, and we're ready to tackle just half a notch bigger and bolder. Between then and now, I'll probably go easy on him for a couple of days, give him tomorrow off, and then Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday I'll just do a little bit of flat work and suppling work and getting him moving around, and then Friday, if he's in good health, we'll probably give him a gallop. The ground's perfect up here in Pennsylvania at the moment. It's great to be home on the grass hills. I feel like the fitness and conditioning on Bruno's a very important part of it. The jumping part's sort of done for me. He's just a natural jumper. I really have to screw up to knock a jump down, which is a wonderful feeling going into the show jumping, especially when you're in the lead, knowing that your horse wants to jump clear, and if you could just point him in the right direction and give him a good ride, nine times out of 10 he'll jump it beautifully. Ian Stark designed this course, and he builds a pretty proper track here, and a lot of angles, corners, narrows, and I feel like Bruno was looking for the fences. Next jump was a really, really big jump into water, 6 strides up a bank, and then a pretty long 3 strides to a corner. I was watching a number of the other horses go on the live feed, and people were pulling back and doing 4 strides, or some even did 5 strides to the corner. And I don't know, I just feel like Bruno's confident and he's looking for his jump. So I went on the forward distance. Same thing at Bruce's Field. It really gave, it gives him a good feel of letting him roll onto the jump. I was really, really pleased. That was one of the hardest jumps on the course, of that corner, which is that doesn't look that bad on the screen there, but it's a really tight angle, and you need a horse that sort of was looking for a jump and almost like threading a needle. The ground's pretty good there. It's pretty good grass, and we had good rain on, I think, there on Wednesday and Thursday. So the footing was good, and Bruno's, he touched wood. He's a healthy horse. Like he felt really good warming up for the show jumping this morning after this run. Even though we didn't go as fast as we could have, it was still a proper test for him. It was big jumps, and let's see, it was about a 7-minute course. I think it took our time a little bit. We were about, I think, 15 or 20 seconds over the time, and sounds like a lot, but I feel like if I sprint in between the jumps and carve a few of the turns, we're very capable of making the time.
So I'm going to predict
he's a little bit ditchy, and this next jump was a big ditch hedge, and man, he impressed me. He didn't even look at it. Got a good shot at it, and he just popped over it like it was nothing.
Yeah, and they've been decently quick, actually. Huge jump over that brush fence there. See Bruno still.
It's a really, really powerful jumper, especially in his hind legs, so you got to sit back a bit over those drops.
Good shot there.
The only jump I regret is the next one. He was getting a little bit brave and keen, and I ended up having to pull back and whoa, Bruno. Anyway, I can't whinge too much. It was doesn't look too bad, but I've got to try and avoid those fences. It's so much better if I can see a flowing distance. It's easier on him and more efficient, faster, obviously.
3 fences to go for Boyd.
So we're coming towards the end of the course, and Bruno still very, very fresh. Ears were pricked and galloping along well.
Triple brush.
I feel like we got him pretty fit. We've got like a conditioning pond at home that he goes in once or twice a week for 20 minutes, where he sort of has to, it's like an aqua tread where the water goes up near his chest, and it's more of a core fitness work. And then galloping him up the hills here in Pennsylvania is a massive asset for a horse like this.
Having come off quite a big win at the Aiken Showcase just a few weeks ago.
That was exciting. We were both there watching.
So it was a big sigh of relief. Deep down I thought he'd go well, but you just don't know after sprinting around Bruce's Field if it might have rattled him, but he felt great. And this is the show jumping this morning. The time was ridiculously tight to make the optimum time here in the show jumping, and we had a good lead going into the show jumping, and I've just got to watch. Sometimes he jumps a little bit crooked over a jump off a right turn, so I went extra wide on this turn, and then same again to a jump off a right turn a bit later, and fortunately we picked up a couple of seconds time penalties, but it didn't matter. He won the class, and more importantly, he went well. Often you win and it feels horrible, and you're belting them around and fighting for it, and I just felt like Bruno was on cruise control this weekend, and I think we're in good shape coming up to our big test in 3 or 4 weeks' time at Fair Hill. Ultimately, our spring goal would be the 4-star long at Tryon. I think that's in May, and that will sort of get us qualified for 5-star level, and hopefully be a contender for the Olympic Games potentially. But one step at a time. We're in good shape. He feels good, and I really feel like we're developing a great partnership.